Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Om Sri Lalita Namaha. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalasphadikakritim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Sri Vidya Jagatam Dhatrim Sargasthidilayeshwarim Namami Lalitam Devim Nityam Tripurasundari. Hari Om. Last class we saw that we are potentially divine. Swami Vivekananda defines religion as religion is the manifestation of divinity which is already in man. We are all, in truth, we are all divine, and religion tries to help us to manifest this divinity which is already in man. How? So comes the role of Shastra, Shastric studies in our life. So we saw that Shastras are very important because Shastra helps us in different ways. Like Shastra help us to remove the impurities from us, dosha, apanayana. Shastra helps us to develop different qualities, good qualities in us, known as guna, adhana. Then the Shastra helps us to find the path. And when we talk about path, we will come back to it. The path for each one of us is different. We have to find out our own path, but the Shastra will help us to do that. And it will clearly show us the goal. So, Shastras are very, very important. So, there is Shastra Shravanam. And also Shastras are important because sometimes what happens, our mind plays with us. If without the Shastric studies, when we take up our sadhana and spiritual practices, Bhagavan Ramana says that what is the one important aspect is the death of the mind. And the mind doesn't want to die. So as we start to walk the path, the mind starts to project its own things and will, deviate us from the path. So when we study, when we understand the Shastra always tells us, okay, you are straying from the path. Without that, because mind is like that, mind likes to do, one day mind thinks, okay, this is what the spirituality is. What spirituality? Mind. We'll see in our the group of sadhakas, many people are falling out of the path because they are doing whatever their mind is trying to tell us, and they walk that path. After some time they understand that this is not the right path, and it's very difficult for them to come back because they have gone astray so far away. So Shastra is very, very, very important. Says, so what is Shastram? Shasanat Shastram. The meaning of Shastra, Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Gita, he says, Tasmat Shastram Pramanamte Kaidya Akaidya Vyavasthido. What to do, what not to do, Shastra is Pramana, not our mind. Mind will tell so many things. Don't follow that. Whatever Shastra says, that is Pramana. So, Tasmat Shastram Pramanamte. What is Shastra? Shasanat Shastram. That which directs us, that which guides us, that which advises us in the right path. That is Shastra. Says, Aneka samshayo chedi paroksharthasya darshakam sarvasya lochanam shastram yasya nasti andhaeva saha. Says, what is this Shastra? Aneka samshayo chedi. Shastra is that which helps to remove many doubts. When we walk the path, see, until we are on the path, there is no doubt. The moment we come to the path, when we start to walk the path, lots of doubts will come to our mind, and only Shastra can answer them. Aneka samshaya uchchedi. That which will remove, annihilate all types of doubts from our heart. Aneka samshaya uchchedi. Then, paroksharthasya darshakam. The Shastra has a power to show things which are not perceived through the indriyas. Paroksha, that cannot be perceived through the indriya, even with the mind. There are things. See how we know that there is Brahman? Brahma asti, Ishwaraha asti. How we know? It is not something which we can perceive through the indriyas. So, paroksha arthasya darshakam, that which shows us the paroksha, that which cannot be perceived directly through the indriyas. Shastra is that which is telling us, Brahma asti, asti tevo palabdhavyaha, tattvabhavena chobhayoho, asti tevo palabdhasya tattvabhava prasidati. Says, yes, where is the proof for God? Says, you now take it, no, asti tevo palabdhavyaha, have a shraddha, and then walk the path. Then only you will reach. For example, I have not gone to Australia. Okay, because I have not gone to Australia, I have no direct experience of Australia. If I say that there is no Australia, that is foolishness. You take up the path, you take the visa or whatever, and then get it into a flight, and then you can go. But until you have that faith that there is a country named Australia, we will never even embark the journey. And there is no possibility of experience. So don't tell that because I have no experience, there is no God. Shastra says, take up the path and you shall experience. So, paroksha arthasya darshakam, that which shows the parokshartha, that which cannot be perceived through the indriyas. Sarvasya lochanam shastram. What is Shastra? Shastra is the lochana. Shastra is the eyes. To see, to experience, which cannot be experienced through any other means other than Shastra. Although there are different pramana, pratyaksha, anumana, etc., but the Shabda is the Parama Pramana, because in many things we only know things only through that what is revealed to us. Ishwaraha asti, surgam asti, whatever things, So, Shastra is that which helps us to understand, assimilate, and that gives us the power to walk the path. And sure, if we really walk the path, then asti tevo palabdasya tattvabhava prasidati. The Shastra gives us this guarantee. You walk the path, you shall find. So, not only study Shastra, but put it into practice. So, this is known as Shastra. So, Shastra is like, it says, it's like our mother, it's like our father, it's like our brother, it's like our everything. Mateva Rakshati. Shastra is that which protects us like a mother. Piteva Hiteni Yungte. Shastra is that which actually always guides us to the right decisions of life. That which will help us to get hitam. What is hita? Hita and priya. There are two words in our literature. Priya means that which I like. Hita is what is good for me. The Shastra is that which leads us to hitam. Piteva hiteni yungte kanteva chapi ramayati. Like a wife or a husband, it gives us so much of joy. Apaniya khetam. Removing the different types of sorrows and sufferings from our mind. The Shastra will give us so much of joy like a spouse. Lakshmim vitanoti. Shastra will give us so much of wealth. Not only the external wealth, but internal wealth. What we call as the Ivika Sambhati. See, think about that. If there is no Shastra, how we know that we should speak truth? How we know that we should live a dharmic life? Because Shastra brings all that qualities to us. And Dikshu Kirtim Vidanoti, you become so famous. They say, the Raja, Swadeshe Pujito Raja. Raja is only worshipped, or the Raja, the king gets recognition only in his place. But a Pandita, Vidwan Sarvatra Pujyate. See, so the knowledge, the Shastra gives you name, fame, more than that, clarity of vision. Shastra brings the clarity. Shastra gives us strength. Shastra gives us ability to see that which cannot be seen. So, now in Bharatiya Shastra, when we come to India, Indian knowledge system, in Bharatiya Shastra, the Shastras are divided into 4 types of Shastras. It's very sad now, because people, the moment the word is heard, when you say Shastra, people think that only spiritual science. No. Shastra means science. That can be spiritual or material. So there are 4 types of Shastra in Bharatavarsha. First is known as Dharma Sambandhi Shastra. The Shastra that which help us to understand and walk the path of Dharma. What is Dharma? Kim kartavyam, kim akartavyam. What to do, what not to do. So Dharma is that which has to be followed, and also that which has to be eliminated from our life. Both. Kartavyam, akartavyam. What to know, what to follow, and what we should not take up in our life. Satyam vada, asatyam ma vada, dharmam chara, adharmam ma chara. So, that is known as Dharma Shastra, Dharma Sambandhi Shastra. Like the Smritis. 18 Smritis are there, and there are, if you read many other texts also, there is Dharma. The Veda itself, Satyam vada, Dharmam chara, Swadhyayan ma pramadaha. So it shows us the path. So wherever Dharma is explained, that is known as Dharma Shastram. The second type is known as Artha Shastra. That science, Bhautika Shastra. Bhautika Shastra, that Shastra, physical, the science about the world. So it's also part of our traditions. We were in front in different, whether it is metallurgy, whether it is physics, chemistry, the Arogya Shastra, Ayurveda, all of them. They are all together, they are known as Artha Shastra. People think that Artha Shastra means Chanakya's Artha Shastra. Not only that, Artha means wealth. See, they say that human heart is divided into 4 chambers. Oh, that we also know. Yes. But in Shastra, there are 4 chambers. Means what? First thing, all of us, suppose, we tell you, please come for the camp. We will teach you from morning 6 o'clock to evening 12 o'clock. You will say, thank you, sir. We have. So, first and foremost thing for human being is basic comforts. People need to eat. People need a place to stay. Okay, so Artha is the first chamber of our heart. First thing is, you give people a good place to stay, enough to eat, a good environment. So his actual needs, material needs should be fulfilled. Then he moves to the next chamber of his heart, which can be filled only by emotional balance. All of us need recognition, all of us need love, all of us need respect. See, somebody is giving us a great feast, but if that host is so arrogant and ill-treat us, would we like to go and eat it? No. Because people are, their emotional needs has to be fulfilled. So that's why our second chamber is filled with, it can be filled only by kama. So sometimes this word kama creates lots of confusion, because the word kama in Indian languages have different connotations. Like in Hindi, when you say kam, means work. In Malayalam, kama means lust. Okay, but in Sanskrit, the meaning is very different. So kama has different meanings. Of course, kama is also lust, but that is not the only meaning. In Sanskrit, kama means beautiful. That's why there is Kameshwari. There is Kameshwara. Means the lust manifested, no, they are beyond lust. That is the most beautiful. So, when you say kama, what do you mean by that kama? Kama means that which makes your life beautiful. That which makes your life, fulfilling. You feel good. So, anything which makes you feel good, that is kama. So there are Kama Shastra. We have Kama Sutras. No, there is Artha Sutras are there, Kama Sutras are there, and written by a Rishi, Vatsyayana himself. So in Bharatavarsha, we don't see that, oh, that is bad, this is good. Everything is needed for us in the right amount, in the right way. So first chamber is with Artha, second with Kama. Then comes the third chamber, which is the adhara of Artha and Kama, that is order of life. See, there should be, this is human beings are, not I don't think even human beings, in this entire universe is a play, is a dance. This entire universe is the dance of Nataraja. And if you just jump, it is not a dance. Dance is something which is rhythmic. Okay? So the rhythm of life is very much important in our life. Whether you want to even enjoy Artha and Kama, there should be a rhythm. If that rhythm is not there, you cannot enjoy anything. So, the third part of here itself, you see, if you are all sitting here and there and here and there, you yourself start to feel very uncomfortable. If there is no order, if there is not system, the human mind is somehow, tuned to that. That's why in Sanskrit the word Satyam Vada, Satyam Vachmi, Ritam Vachmi. Ritam is the universal order. And that universal order is known as Dharma. So the third chamber of our heart is filled with dharma. In that rhythm, even the music and dance and everything comes as part of that. Because actually music and dance is nothing but mathematics. A rhythmic, mathematical expression is music and dance. And mathematics is so much part of our life, everything, So, even we are walking, each and every step is a mathematical calculation. And that is not a rhythm. That rhythm is the third chamber. We cannot live without rhythm. And as a society becomes without rhythm, you will see that the society started to crumble down. The society starts to lose its existence because it's going away from the rhythm. So, each one of us, we need to have that rhythmic existence. So, these three chambers we are all aware of. And we all know that even when our artha, kama and rhythm, dharma are fulfilled, still we are not completely satisfied. Because there is a fourth chamber, the secret chamber, which is under the, Nagabandha. What is that chamber? That chamber is the desire for liberation, the desire for independence, the desire for freedom, the desire for moksha. So, there are four chambers in our heart and there are four types of shastra which is helping to fulfill each one of them. So, there is dharma shastra, there is artha shastra, there is kama shastra, there is moksha shastra. So, there are four main. Now, in the artha shastra and kama shastra together is known as bhautika shastra. Dharma shastra and moksha shastra together is known as adhyatmika shastra. The four can be divided into again two. One is adhyatmikam, another is bhautikam. One is like physical science, another is, we cannot call religious science, but more of dharmika. There is no English word to translate that. So dharmika shastra and moksha shastra together become adhyatmikam, spiritual. Now, in the bhautika shastra, artha and kama, there comes, of course, as I said, all this physics and chemistry and biology and all of them. Along with that, one more important aspect is there, known as sahityam, the literature, mahakavya, because that also fulfill our need to express. Kavyam, sahityam. What is the meaning of sahitya? Sahitayoho bhavaha, sahityam. The meaning of sahitya, literature, not literature, sahitya is sahitayoho bhavaha. Means the expression of friendship, the expression of deep love is known as sahitya. They say the Vedas instruct us like a master. You do this. Satyam vada. Vada is a imperative. You have to do this. And the Smritis speak to us like a acharya, like a teacher. Okay? The Puranas talk to us like a friend, and Sahitya talks to us like a wife or a husband. Whenever a wife or husband is supposed to advise their spouse, but in a very, the other person should not feel that the spouse is advising us. Nobody wants advice from your spouse. Husband doesn't like advices from the wife doesn't like the advices from husband. So, but we have to tell something. There should be a knack to tell things to our wife or husband without the other person feel that it is an advice. That's a technique. That's how the Sahitya is. When Sahitya is talking to us, Sahitya is also talking to but we will not feel that Sahitya is giving us some advice. So, anyhow, that also comes. Then comes the Moksha Shastra. Moksha Shastra, which is talking about the liberation, like Darshana, Shastra, etc., etc. So, this entire thing, whether it is Dharma Shastra, Artha Shastra, Kama Shastra, and Moksha Shastra, they are all, although we do not have a book like that, we have 18 Vidyasthana, the source of knowledge. We use the word Saraswati, isn't it? What is the meaning of Saraswati? What is the meaning of Saraswati? Saraswati. Saraswati is Saraswati. The word comes from the word Saras. Saraha. What is Saras? A pond. Sarasnama Vidyasthanam. The meaning of Saras is Vidyasthana. Vidyasthana means the source of knowledge. So Saraswati means the one who is the embodiment of different sources of knowledge. So for us, when they ask, what is your book? Like they have a Bible or a Quran or a Dharmapada. What is your book? So we say we do not have a book, we have a library. Please come. We have a huge library. You can choose anything. Everything will help you. So we have 18 Vidyasthana. We have 18 sources of knowledge. Angani Vedas Chatvari Mimamsa Nyaya Vistaraha Puranam Dharma Shastrancha Vidya Hetas Chaturdashaha Ayurvedo Dhanurvedo Gandharvaschediye Trayaha Arthashastram Chaturtascha Vidya Ashtadashaivate. There are only 18 sources of knowledge. What are they? Angani Vedaha Chatvara. Vedaha. 4 Vedas. That all we all know. What is Veda? What are the 4 Vedas? Rigveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. Why Veda? Vedayati iti Vedaha. That which helps us to understand. That's the meaning of Veda. That which shows us, that which indicates. Vedayati iti Vedaha. Kim Vedayati? What is that the Vedas are indicating or showing? The path. Margam Vedayati iti Vedaha. What is Veda? Margam Vedayati. That which indicates, that which shows the marga. Marga, the path. Path for what? Say, Laukikam Paramarthikam cha Jivanam Sukhena Sadhayitum Marga. The path for what? Laukikam Paramarthikam cha Jivanam Sukhena Sadhayitum Margam. The path which will help us to fulfill our Laukika Jivana and Paramarthika Jivana. No, the life here and hereafter. Or that life which you are living in this world and the eternal life. Transactional life and transcendental life. So what is Veda? Veda is that which points out the path to lead a complete life. Not only, go into forest, but how can you be a good grihastha? How can you be a good brahmachari? How can you be a good, raja, king? How can you be the best in whatever you are doing? And go beyond. So, laukikam paramarthikam cha jivanam. Our transactional and transcendental life, how can we do that the best way possible? Vedas are that which points out. So, 4 Vedas. And there are 4 Upavedas. For each Veda, there is one Upaveda. The Rigveda's Upaveda is Ayurveda. Ayurveda, there are 2 parts. One, medicine. Another is Shalya Vidya. Shalya Vidya is operation, using with the different equipments like operation and things. The medicinal knowledge is coming from Rigveda, and the Shalya Vidya is coming from Atharva Veda. The operation, etc., is coming from the Ayurveda. So that's why, MBBS. So most medicine, Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. So the Bachelor of Medicine, that is coming from Ayurveda, and Rigveda, and the surgery part comes from the Atharva Veda. So that is the first Upaveda, known as Ayurveda. Ayurveda. So 4 Upavedas. Ayurveda is the first. Second is a very interesting Veda known as Dhanurveda. Dhanurveda, Dhanus means what? What is the meaning of Dhanus? Bow. Okay? So, archery. Not only archery, the use of different weapons. Not only that, actually Dhanurveda teaches the art of ruling a country. The entire, politics and civics also comes the part of Dhanurveda. So, in olden days, when we say, when we hear that the Kshatriyas were taught Veda, they used to master in Dhanurveda. Because Dhanurveda is that which helps them. The politics and then civics and politics and all those things are taught as the part of Dhanurveda. Not only how to hold a weapon, but along with that, the entire how to run, how to rule a country, that's also taught in Dhanurveda. That is the second Upaveda. It's part of Yajurveda. Or not part, it is the Upaveda of Yajurveda. Then comes the third Veda. What is the third Veda? Sama. The Sama's Upaveda is known as Gandharva Veda. Gandharva Veda is talking about not only music, not only the music and dance and drama and the stage, but all that which will help us to gain an emotional fulfillment. The art in India is not only some stage, but anything which will help us to gain an emotional upliftment and stability, that is taught in the Gandharva Veda. That is the third Veda. The fourth is known as Artha Shastra, Artha Shastram. That which is talking about creation of money, creation and transaction of money, how the money can be used for the upliftment of the entire society. Not only for me, not only for you, but how the money can be created without disturbing the equilibrium of the society. This is very important. Now we are only after creating money, somehow we create money, but that money becomes the curse for us because the money is coming from wrong sources. So, the Arthashastra, Arthaveda teaches us how can we create more and more money. We can create, annam bahugurvita tadvratam. Veda says that create lot of wealth. But that wealth should be created in such a way that your Acharya should not be ashamed of you. Say, Acharyaya priyam dhanamahritya. Veda says, you have to create wealth. What kind of wealth? Acharyaya priyam. Your teacher, you should not feel, about your disciple, what? Oh, he's creating lot of money. Acha, very good. Through smuggling. So the Acharya feel that, oh my God, what kind of shishyas I have. So Acharyaya priyam, not that type of wealth. So Arthashastra, the fourth Upaveda is talking about creating lots of wealth without disturbing the equilibrium of the society. So these are the 4 Upavedas. 4 Veda, 4 Upaveda. Now there are Veda Angaha. There are 6 Vedangas. That which help us to understand the meaning and application of Veda, Vedic understanding. Shiksha, how to pronounce. Kalpa, to how we can actually perform yaga, yajna, etc. Shiksha, kalpa, vyakarana. How can we speak without error? The grammar. Shiksha, kalpo, vyakarana, nirukta, the etymology of the words. How when you say one word, what actually it means. See, like I say, Veda, we always use Veda, but when we understand the etymological meaning of Veda, then it makes sense to us. So that is known as the Nirukta. Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta. Chandaha. Chandaha is the prosody, that which brings that system or the, of the entire Veda. The meters are said, how the meters has to be chanted, that all comes. And comes the Jyotisham. Jyotisham ayanam chakshuhu. To watch the movement of the grahas and the planets and the sun, etc., so that we can predict the future. Not only predict the future through this, but also when it will rain, when it will be, there will be eclipse, when the changes will happen. This is very much needed for our day-to-day existence. So this is also, these are the 6 Vedangas. 4 Veda, 4 Upaveda, 6 Vedangas. For me now, 4 plus 4 plus 6, I am very bad with mathematics. So 14, thank you. Now comes the next, is known as Mimamsa. What is Mimamsa? Mantum Icha. Means Pujaniya Vicharaha. Mimamsa is the Shastra which helps us. It's the art of contemplation. What is Mimamsa? Mimamsa helps us to think. When a topic is given to you, how can I really contemplate on that? That is known as Mimamsa. So there is Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. So how to think, how to take up different questions in your life and think properly. That is known as Mimamsa Shastra, the art of contemplation. Then comes Nyaya. Nyaya is the Shastra of logical thinking. Sometimes we think about so many things. But there's no value to it because the thinking is not happening according to logic. So, a logical thinking is very, very important in our life. When you think logically, then only you can speak logically. When you speak logically, then only something can happen in the world logically. Otherwise, so the Nyaya helps us to speak and think and act logically. So, Mimamsa, Nyaya, Vistara. Then comes Dharma Shastram. You are very good, you have studied all the Vedas and Vedangas and everything. But until and unless we have a character, if character is lost, everything is lost. So the most important thing in a human being's life is character. And Dharma Shastra help us to build a strong character, good character, and help the entire society to have great values in life. So sometimes when we see the modern education, etc., people are highly educated. But until the character comes as a part, just degrees and papers will not help. The character is character is the base. And Dharma Shastra is the base, that which helps us to build a good character. And so that's an important source of knowledge. Now comes the last one, it's known as Purana. You might be thinking, Swamiji, what are you talking all this? What is the... We came here to listen to Lalita Sahasranama. Why are you telling? Have some patience, we are coming. Okay? Slowly we are coming. So, among the Shastra, there are 18 sources of Shastra, and among them, one of the most important sources of Shastra is Puranam. So, we hear the word Purana. And what is the meaning of Purana? There are 4 meanings for Purana. First meaning, the etymological first meaning of Purana is Pura Bhavam. That which happened in the past. Pura Bhavam, that which happened in the past is Purana. Pura Bhavam. The second meaning is very interesting meaning, Pura Api Navam. Pura Api Navam. We read sometimes Purana, we feel that this is happening around our society, around our house, inside our house. Things which are said there, which are happened thousands of years back, but we feel that it is happening now. Why? Because human being is same. Don't think that, just because I am wearing jeans and pants, I am nothing. Everything. Those people who are really staying in the, caves and us, not much difference because human nature. So, that's why the Puranas are focusing. See, sometimes we should understand that the Puranas are talking different stories. So, sometimes they want to, just show us something, it's Arthavada. Sometimes it's actually happened. If it is actually happened, why they are only telling some of them? Because they have some connection with our life. We can connect with those stories. That's why they are there. So, Puranam means Pura Api Navam. Maybe ancient stories, but which are very relevant today. Puranam. The third, Pura Api Navam. Third meaning is Pura Eva Niyatehe. Means that which is already spoken. Kya hoga, kya nahi hoga, what will happen with human life, how the people will think, what are the things which will happen in the life of people. Already said. Pura eva niyate. That which is already said. Already expressed. Next comes Pura Bhanate. Pura Bhanate means that instructions of life. What to do, what not to do. So when we read Purana, we study 2 things. Ye karna hai, ye nahi karna hai. This has to be done, this should not be done. So this is shown through the Purana. So there are the 4 meanings of Purana. Now why, what is this Purana? What is the essence of this Purana? Why is it there? Because Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedartho Upabrahmayet. See, whatever is to be known, they are all said in the Vedas. Satyam Vada, said. Now, the Purana will show us, if you speak truth, what will happen? If you do not speak truth, what will happen? So, whatever is said in the Veda, Vedartha, whatever is the essence of Veda, Samupabrahmayet. Through stories and through the Akhyanakas and Akhyayikas and conversations and dialogue, the things which are said in the Veda becomes clear to each one of us. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult for many of us to understand what Veda is trying to express through stories, through conversations and dialogues. Purana gives life to those eternal values of Veda. So that's why this Itihasa and Purana is known as Panjamo Vedaha. Now, Itihasa Puranascha Panjamo Veda Uchyate, the fifth Veda. There are four Veda. The fifth Veda is Itihasa Purana. Why? Because whatever is said in the Veda are explained to us through Purana. So what is there in the Purana? Says, Tattvabodha Kadha Yuktam Jnana Dharma Prabodhakam Bhakti Yuktam Pura Proktam Puranamittya Chakshate. What is Puranam? Puranamiti Achakshate. That which is said as Purana. What is Purana? What is there in that? Tattvabodha Kadha Yuktam. There are lots of stories there. Why those stories? Tattvabodha Katha. Those stories which will give us Tattvabodha. That which will give us understanding of the truth. Tattvabodha Katha Yuktam Jnana Dharma Prabodhakam. What is this Purana is trying to convey to us? Jnanam and Dharma. The knowledge and the Dharma. So, Jnana Dharma Prabodhakam Bhakti Yuktama. The beauty of Purana is able to, create, cultivate devotion in our heart. Bhakti Yuktam Pura Proktam, that which is said by the great ancient wise men, Purana Mityachaksha, that is known as Purana. Also says, Akhyanaischa Upakhyanaihi Gadhabhi Kalpashuddhibhi Purana Samhitam Chakre Puranartha Visharadaha. There are three aspects in Purana. What is Akhyana, Upakhyana and Gadha? Akhyana means an incident. What happened at this day, at this time? What happened today, 5,200 something years back? What happened in India, in Bharatavarsha or other parts of the world? Akhyanam. That is as it is said. That is known as Akhyanam. Second is Upakhyanam. So one story will be there, and as part of that story, some other aspects are added. Upakhyanam. Now, then comes Gadha. Gadhas are stories. May not have happened. Akhyana is something which actually happened. Gadha is a katha. Sometimes you read Purana and we know that this cannot happen, but then it is there in Purana because that they are trying to tell us, they are trying to convey some messages through those Gadha. That's why Kalpa Shuddhi. Why? Because what is the purpose of these Puranic stories? Kalpa Shuddhi, Manas Shuddhi. Want to purify our mind and intellect and lead us through the right path. For that, stories and that Akhyana, Upakhyanah and Gadha, they are all narrated, all collected and then put it there. Purana Samhidam Chakre. Why? Says, Vistarasya cha Vedanam Swayam Narayana Prabhu Vyasarupena Kritavan Puranani Mahitale Pradukkaroti Dharmarthau Puranani Yatha Vidhi Dwapare Vishnuhu Vyasarupena Sarvada. According to our Shastra, there are 4 types of mindset. Please understand, when we speak about, in our Shastra, when they speak about Kala, time, that is not actual time. It is more of a mindset. So the first type of mindset is known as Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga, where the mind is very calm and quiet. So in our life also, every day, all the 4 yugas happen. We wake up, we had a very wonderful sleep, we wake up, our mind is very calm, very quiet, there are no disturbances, we just get up, we sit down, we meditate, very natural. That is known as Satya Yuga. So Satya Yuga is not something which happened thousands of years back. Satya Yuga happens now also. There are a few of us still live in the Satya Yuga. But there was a time where the majority of people were living in that kind of a state. So they say that was Satya Yuga. It doesn't mean that now Satya Yuga is not there. Satya Yuga is there now also. Few of them. We can count. But those days, they were majority. Whose mind is calm and quiet. There's no need of anything else. They can just sit down, meditate. That's all. That is known as Satya Yuga. Then comes Dwapara, Treta Yuga, where little bit of Rajas is starting. Sattva, along with Sattva, Rajas is starting. And then Rajas is prominent. And then Tamas is prominent. There are four. In our own life we can see this. Sometimes mind is so calm. Sometimes little bit, disturbed. Sometimes only disturbed. Sometimes so tamasic. We ourselves do not know why we crying. Sometimes we cry and we feel that depressed and then kya ho gaya? We are in Kali Yuga. So they say Bhagavan again and again. But then when its prominence is there, then we call it Dharma, Satya Yuga and then Treta Yuga and Krita Yuga. The end of Krita Yuga, every end of Krita Yuga, Sri Bhagavan appears in the world because he knows that the Kali Yuga is coming. People will become so tamasic. They have no, ability to read Vedas and understand what is said in the Veda. Bhagavan comes down. Bhagavan takes Jnanavatara. Jnanavatara he takes and teaches us. Dwapare Vishnu. In each and every Dwapara Yuga, the end of the Dwapara Yuga, Bhagavan will come. Bhagavan will manifest himself as Vyasa. Vyasa Rupena Sarvata. Then what he says? Pradukkarodi dharmarthau Purana. Through the Purana, he will explain what is Dharma, what is Artha, what is Kama, what is Moksha. Vistarasya ca Vedanam. So whatever is said in the Vedas are explained to us through the Gadha and Upakhyana and Akhyana, and there are many conversations. One person is asking, if you read Bhagavata, you will see that the majority of the Bhagavata is actually a conversation, like an Upakhyana. It's a dialogue. So through all that, what is said in the Vedas are explained to us by Bhagavan, Veda Vyasa, in each and every Krita Yuga and the end of Krita Yuga. Now, okay, very good. Now, what is this? What is there in this Purana? They say, Puranam Panchalakshanam. There are 5 things should be there in, minimum 5 things should be there in the Purana. What are the topics which are dealt in the Purana? Says, first is Sargascha, Pratisargascha, Vamsho Manvandarani cha, Vamshanu Charidam Chaiva, Puranam Panchalakshanam. There are Panchalakshana, 5 lakshanas which should be there in Purana. There are 5 aspects or the 5 subjects which should be there in each and every Purana. What is first one? Sargaha. What is Sarga? The original creation. What do you mean by that? Original creation means the creation of the Prakriti. The nature, how the Panchabhutas are created, the 5 elements are created, how the Mahattattva is created. All that is known as original creation. That original creation is known as Sarga. And second is known as Pratisarga. Brahma, using all that Panchabhutas, etc., he created his own kind of creation. That is known as Pratisarga. It's like this. We go to our house and then see what are the things there. There are some vegetables and there are some dal, something. It's not created by us. With that dal and rice and vegetable, we make a khichdi. So the khichdi, the creation of khichdi is ours. But not the creation that rice and things are not by ours. So creating that rice and dal and vegetable is known as sarga. With that, when we create a khichdi, that is known as pratisarga. So Brahma is expanding the creation, that is pratisarga. Sargacha pratisargacha. Vamshaha. The families, the PDs, different lineage of Mahatmas, Rishis and Rajas and Devatas, all that is explained in the Sargascha Vamshaha. Now comes Manvantarani. Manvantarani means the different stages or time of Manu. See, one day of Brahmaji is considered as one kalpa. In that kalpa, 14 Manus will come. 14 Manus will come in one day of Brahma. Okay, like suppose one day of ours, if you divide it into 14 hours, like that. Now in each of that Manvantara, one Manu, there will be 71 Chaturyugas. One Manu will be the Manu, like when we say, we select a prime minister. The prime minister is supposed to be in the office for 5 years. Like that, when a Manu comes, Manu is selected, he will rule over for 71 Chaturyuga. Chaturyuga means all the 4 yugas together. Satya, Treta, Dwapara and Kali. Together is known as Chaturyuga. Like that, 71 Chaturyugas, one Manu will rule. Like that, 14 Manus will rule. In one day. We are all living in the 7th Manvantara, in that 28th Kali Yuga. There also 5,200 some years are over in our Kali Yuga. So like that, so that much is the time. So that is not a Manvantara. So who is Manu? Who is Manu's sons? Who will be the Devatas? Who will be the Saptarshis? All that is explained in Manvantara. Vamsho Manvantaranicha. Vamshanucharitam. And also the stories of different kings and, all those Vamsha, that also will be explained. Puranam. This is not Panja Lakshanam. 5 Lakshanam. But Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a Mahapurana, is explaining, they say that there are 10 Lakshanas. In a Mahapurana, there will be 10 Lakshanas will be there. First is Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanamutayah Manvantara Ishanukadha Nirodho Mukti Ashrayah. There are 10 subjects in Mahapurana. First one is, of course, Sargaha. Sarga is Prakritam Bhuta Srishtihi. How, as I said, the creation of the basic elements, Panjabhuta, Mahattattva, all as that is known as Sargaha. Pratisarga is known as here is known as Visarga. Visarga means how the Brahmaji is expanding the creation. That is Sthanam. Third Lakshana of Purana is Sthanam. What is Sthanam? Vaikuntha Vijayaha. How Bhagavan protects this universe. How the Lord Bhagavan protects this universe is known as Sthanam. Fourth, Poshanam. Poshanam is tad anugraha, how he blesses it. That is the story of the Poshana. The fifth one is Utayaha. Utayaha karma vasana. Uyande abhivruddhim prapnuvandi. How the different jivas comes to this world and then how the expansion of creation happens, that is known as Utayaha. Then comes Manvantaram. As we said, Manvantarani Saddharmam. What is the Saddharma? What is the real Dharma we should follow? That is shown through Manvantara Katha. Then comes Ishanu Kathaha. Avataranu Charidam Harehe. The different avatars of Bhagavan. There are stories of the Devatas that are also there in the Ishanu Katha. Then comes Nirodha. Nirodha is Pralaya. See, whatever is created has to be destroyed. So, that is known as Nirodha. Nirodha, coming back to the source. So, in outer world, it is Pralaya. inner world. Nirodhosyanusayanam atmanasaha shakti. How we can control our indriyas and mind and then, revert it towards our own true self. That is known as nirodha in spiritual science. Then comes muktihi. Then comes moksha. Moksha is an important topic of Purana. What is moksha? Muktihi hitva anyadha rupam swarupena vyavastiti. What is mukti? Mukti, what are you talking about? What do you mean by mukti? Mukti means giving up all the wrong understanding, all wrong identification with 5 things. What are they? The physical body, annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, and anandamaya kosha. Giving up wrong identification with physical body, the pranic life, to our mind, to our intellect, and to our vasanas. Giving up all that wrong identification, thinking that I am this. Hitva anyadha rupam. Giving up all the wrong identification. Swarupena vyavastiti. Abidance in the true nature is known as mukti. And that's also part of the Purana telling about it. And then comes ashraya. What is ashraya? Sa ashraya param brahma. Paramatmedi shabdyate. That which is known as Paramatma, that Paramatma is Param Brahma. The only truth. All other things, whatever we see and experience, are only Maya or are expressions. And the true self is that Paramatma. That Paramatma is known as Ashraya. When these 10 aspects are shown, then that is known as Mahapuranam. Okay, that's why we always call Srimad Bhagavatam as not Purana. Say Srimad Bhagavata Mahapuranam, where all the 10 aspects are expressed. Now, so this is Purana. So we started from Shastra, then the Vidyasthana, and then Puranam. So which are the Puranas? As I said, there are 18 Mahapuranas and 18 Upapuranas. There are 18 Mahapurana and 18 Upapuranas. What are the Upapuranas? They say Sanatkumaram, Narasimham, Kaumaram, Shivam, Shiva Purana, that is very famous. Then Durvasa Puranam, Kapila Puranam, Kapila means Kapilasya. Then Aushasana Puranam, Varuna Puranam, Kalika Puranam. Kalika Puranam is also famous. Bhargava Puranam, Nandi Puranam, Saura Puranam, Samba Puranam, Maheshwara Puranam, Parashara Puranam, Ganesha Puranam. Ganesha Puranam is also many people read because whoever is worshippers of Ganesha. So Ganesha Purana, Vasishta Purana, and Devi Bhagavatam. So these 18 are known as Upapuranas. Okay. Now what is Mahapurana? What is the real Purana? There is one shloka which tells all the names of all the 18 Purana. One shloka? Yes. Madvayam bhadvayam chaiva bratrayam vachatushtayam anapalinga kuskani puranani prachakshate. What are the Puranas? Madvayam. 2 Puranas starting with Ma. Try Ma. Matsya Purana, Markandeya Purana. Madvayam. Bhadvayam. 2 Puranas starting with Bha. Bhagavatam, Bhavishyat Purana. That will happen later. Madvayam, Bhadvayam Chaiva, Bratrayam. 3 Puranas starting with Bra. Brahmanda Purana, Brahma Purana, Brahma Vaivartaka Purana. 3 Puranas starting with Bra. What are they? Brahma Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Brahma Vaivartaka Purana. Bratrayam. Next is Vachatushtayam. 4 Puranas starting with Va. Varaha Purana, Vamana Purana, Vishnu Purana, and Vayu Purana. Vayu, Vishnu, Varaha, Vamana. These are Vachatushtayam. Now next is a sutra. Anapalinga Kuskani. This is the first letter of each Purana. A. Agni Purana. Na. Narada Purana. Pa. Padma Purana. Very good. Li. Linga Purana. Ga. Garuda Purana. Ku. Kurma Purana. Ska. Skanda Purana. So these are the 18 Puranas. See, one small shloka, all the 18 Puranas are there. Madvayam, Bhadvayam, Chaiva, Bratrayam, Vachatushtayam, Anapalinga Kuskani, Puranani Prachakshate. So there are 18 Puranas. Among them, one important Mahapurana is known as Brahmanda Purana. Okay, let there be Brahmanda Purana. What is to do with us? Our subject, that is Sri Lalita Sahasranama, is supposed to be the part of Brahmanda Purana. Acha? Okay. So what is this Brahmanda Purana? Tomorrow. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.